I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for joining me here today. I know this is an exceptionally busy week for everyone, and your support and efforts to be here are most appreciated. Over the past several decades, the medical community has made great strides in the ability to save lives through organ transplants. The problem, the need for organ and tissue transplants far outweighs availability. My name is Rhonda Williams, and I'm here today to discuss why each and every one of us needs to become an organ tissue donor today. A consumer health article written by the staff at the Mayo Clinic noted that there are, on average, 100,000 people on the U.S. organ transplant list every year. That figure was compared to enough people to populate a small town. Only a handful of those waiting will actually receive a transplant. Thousands of others will never be matched with a suitable donor. Part of the reason individuals choose not to become potential organ tissue donors are the multiple myths. I wanted to share with you 5 of the top 10 myths listed by the Mayo Clinic for reasons why people do not become organ donors, and bust those myths. The first one, if I agree to donate my organs, my doctor or the emergency room staff won't work as hard to save my life, removing my organs as soon as possible to save someone else's life. Fact, when you are treated at any hospital or emergency center, doctors focus on saving your life, not someone else's. You'll be treated by a doctor that closely specializes in your needs, not organ transplant. Some worry maybe I won't really be dead when they sign my death certificate and take my organs. The fact, this may play out well for a good horror flick, but the reality is people who have agreed to become organ donors are actually given more tests to confirm they are truly dead than most who have not agreed to be donors. Another one is, I'm too old to donate my organs. Nobody's going to want my old, worn-out organs. Okay, the fact is, there's no real defined cutoff age for organ donation. The decision to use organs is based strictly on medical criteria, not age. Don't count yourself out. There have been many successful organ transplants from donors in their 70s and 80s. Another one, if I donate my organ tissue, my loved ones will not be able to have an open casket funeral. The fact is, organ tissue donation absolutely, positively does not interfere with an open casket funeral. The body is closed, so there are no visible signs of organ tissue donation. If the eyes are used, they are replaced with artificial ones. Same with the bone. If bone is removed, it is replaced with a steel rod. Again, no visible signs to deter from an open casket funeral. And I included this one because this is one I've heard a lot. The rich, famous, and powerful people are always moved to the front of the list when they are in need of a donor organ. The fact is, the rich and famous are treated no differently than the average Joe. It may seem this way from the amount of publicity that is generated when a celebrity receives a donation. However, UNOS, United Network for Organ Sharing, the organization that actually maintains the National Organ Transplant Network, audits celebrity transplants to ensure the organs were acquired and allocated appropriately. Myths aside, there are good reasons why you should become an organ donor. ABC15.com out of Arizona had an excellent article on just this issue and listed the top 5 reasons to become an organ donor. Okay, this first one is pretty sobering. A new name is added to the transplant waiting list every 13 minutes. The process to become an organ tissue donor is fast, it's simple, and it only takes a few minutes of your time. An average of 17 people die each day while waiting for an organ donation. This one is kind of impressive. Organs and tissues from one single donor can benefit more than 50 people on a waiting list. And this one you'll remember from our Mythbusters. Organ tissue donation does not prevent open casket funeral. I wanted to touch quickly on one testimonial, Nicholas Green. I'm sure some of you have probably heard of his story before. Nicholas was 7 years old and on vacation with his family in southern Italy when he was killed in an incident. His family chose to donate his organs. From that single donation, 7 lives were changed. 2 received the gift of sight, and another 5 lives saved from the prospect of death. One of those lives saved was that of a 19-year-old young woman that was in a coma from total liver failure. Not only did she recover quickly from her liver transplant, but she went on to marry and have 2 children of her own. One of those was a son whom she named Nicholas. So give the gift of life. Become an organ tissue donor. Here are a couple simple ways you can become a donor today. You can visit the website on the screen, organdonor.gov. Here you will find step-by-step instructions on how to register with your state. Another simple way to register is through your local DMV. The next time you have your license renewed, check the box, sign your name, and become a donor. I hope today's presentation has helped to ease any anxieties you may have about becoming an organ tissue donor. We've debunked the most common myths, shown great reasons to become a donor with testimony, and empowered you with the information you need to become a donor. Again, the thing to remember is that organ tissue donation is about life. Not one life should be lost while waiting on a list for a transplant. Become a donor. Visit the site, fill out the form, carry the card. Visit your DMV, check the box, become a donor. Who knows, the next life saved through organ tissue donation may be one of your own. Thank you.